The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in. This is the Raymond Hall Show. My name is Raymond Hall, and we are so very delighted to have you with us. We've made it through another year. This is the last show for the Raymond Hall Show for 2018. And I want to tell you all, thank you so very much. I trust that everyone had a Merry Christmas and looking forward to a prosperous New Year. Happy holidays, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Whatever holiday that you celebrate, we do want to recognize that. You know, service is a different conversation, and that's why we're here. This show, the Raymond Hall Show, is a service. It's a broadcast service, and we look to broadcast and talk to all communities about the various things that people are doing in different communities that may affect your community through service. So it's not so much about having the latest and greatest conversation. We do want to have subject matter that's of interest to you and subject matter that you will tell your friends and other people about, so that we can all listen, so we can hear. So tune in to us through the coming year, 2019, and join us. You can watch us through YouTube, follow us on Twitter and other social media platforms. I really want to just acknowledge all of the people that have made this show possible. The studio here at Morris Media Studios, Mr. Johnny Morris, is my mentor, and he's someone that was a front runner in the industry because he helped a lot of people, including myself, to be able to do what we want to do. We have a few guests with us today. We have Dr. Nia McNulty with us, and she's going to be giving us some commentary. My friend, Mr. Anthony Williams out of Memphis, Tennessee, who's a great friend and dear mentor. He's going to be with us. Our feature section this evening is going to be Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 756 out of Long Beach. And they're 20 years old, and Mr. Conrad Gomez and the founder and current VP, Mr. Max, is going to be with us. I just had a brain drain, so please excuse me. But Mr. Max, I'll get to it. My mind went somewhere else for a second. But he's the founder of the Vietnam Veterans, Chapter 756 there in Long Beach. And when I was talking to him today, they do so much to help veterans and to make sure that veterans get the benefits and services that they desire. So we're going to be talking with him, and we are going to Mr. Max Stewart. Thank you, Raymond. The years are right with me. Mr. Max Stewart is the founder and current vice president. So we're going to be talking with them. We want to make sure, excuse me one second. Thank you. We want to make sure that we have topics of interest to everyone in 2019. We're going to be looking at some stark statistics on some issues that we all need to take a look at. I was doing some research earlier, and the numbers are stark when it comes to gun violence for children, whether it's through murders or suicide. So we have that on our topic. Because there are more women in places, in elected places, Congress, House, those kind of things. We're seeing new laws that address women's issues, so we want to be able to talk about that. Now, the reason that I'm talking about it is that because I just had not paid attention to some of the issues that women were facing when it came to children and those kind of things. So we're going to be talking about some things that's a little unique, a little different, and we want to be able to go from there. So stay with us. Give us a second. We're going to take a really short break, and when we come back, we're going to be with our guests here at the Raymond Hall Show. We'll be right back. And we are back. Thank you for continuing to be with us here at the Raymond Hall Show. One of the things that we have been bombarded with this year is a lot of information that has come into the community from outside of the community. And sometimes that information gets to be a distraction. I'm not saying that it's not important that we hear what's going on at the in the White House and going on with the Senate and all of those things. All of those things are vitally important, but we cannot pay attention to one and then not pay attention to other things that's here locally. So what I want to invite you to do is that in 2019, pay attention to some of the things that's going on locally. Now, our guest, Dr. Mia McNulty, she's someone that is a strong advocate on several levels whether it's local or at a state level, or whether there's an advocacy level or a federal level. She's a researcher, and research is vitally important because nothing happens without research. Dr. Mia, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. Greetings.
Greetings. It's nice to talk with you again.
Same here.
Okay. So talk to us about what's on your mind.
Wow, that was a big one. Well, I think we can be talking about, I guess, the end of the year. Mm-hmm. I guess we're celebrating Kwanzaa as we're talking. I think we're in the second day of Kwanzaa.
Correct.
And I'm just reflecting on the year, what transpired, how we can bring in the new year with some goals and agendas so we can stay forward about community and helping our community. Mm-hmm. I think those are some things that were on my mind and I was focused on.
Okay. Now, in the coming year, talk to us about the importance. I don't think a lot of people, and I didn't, and first of all, please thank you for on such a short notice accepting to, agreeing to come in and just give us a moment or two. But I don't think people know enough, therefore can really appreciate the importance of research and researchers. But I saw a program where they were really putting forth other communities and making sure that those children paid attention to certain career avenues that maybe we have not discussed so much in our community. That's one of the things that I wanted to talk about paying attention. So give us an understanding of the importance of research and why researchers are so vital to any project.
Well, that's a great question. Being that my research was kind of thrust upon me when my daughter had heart surgery, and I know you understand that.
Yes.
And I'm the founder and CEO of Nia Imani Heart Association.
Okay.
When she was going through this, I really did not understand. I didn't understand the difficulties or the history regarding African Americans and with relating to cardiovascular issues. Mm-hmm. So, for example, when my daughter was in the hospital one particular day, a respiratory therapist was talking to me and said, "Well, Vivian Thomas was at Johns Hopkins University. Have you seen the movie?" Forgot the name of the movie now. Now it blanks me, but it was Most Def. He played he was an actor, and he played. So anyway, make a long story short, Vivian Thomas helped develop the Blue Baby to help for Blue Baby. So anyway, I started my research with that for the heart aspect of it.
Okay.
And what I found out was that another gentleman in South Africa helped with the heart transplants, and he did not receive credit.
Right.
So this is what I wrote in our mission, so that we can be aware of things. And so we can do the same thing with education regarding people in our family or our community, regarding the strides that we have achieved in education. Brown versus Board of Education, things of that sort. But we have people in our family and in our community that we need to start researching. And I tell this information to my daughter and my nieces and nephews. And we need to start doing that more so, because there's no point of us knowing this knowledge and it's staying with us.
Right. Well, I do want to commend you. Give us again the name of your webpage, some contact information, and I do want to thank the association for the honor that they gave me. I would be remiss if I didn't think about that. So do mention the contact information and let everybody know, because you would think sometimes that some of the things just affect a certain group of people, and you never know that they affect, they go just beyond age, beyond race or anything like that. It's just some things need all of our attention in order to make it something that's far in the past as far as illnesses and diseases. So give us your contact information that if people wanted to get involved in the Mia Heart Association, how would they do that?
Well, we have a Facebook page. We're developing our webpage, but our Facebook is Nia Imani Heart Association.
Okay.
And my email is niasheart@gmail.com, NIAS at gmail.com. And I'm very forthright with responding to all contact information. And we're just a small grassroots organization, and we would love the volunteers if they would like to come and help us and, make an agenda for next year. We would love to have your assistance.
Yeah, well, you have that without question, and you are welcome to. We might as well put the Raymond Hall Show with Mia, okay, because you all are welcome anytime to come to the show. Matter of fact, we don't have a show unless all of you all come and say, hey, here's what's going on in the community, and here's what we're doing. So we want to thank you. Most blessings to you and my friend. For 2019, and we will again be talking really, really soon. Okay.
Thank you.
And give us that information one more time before you go.
Nia Imani Heart Association, and our email is niasheart@gmail.com.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much.
You're very welcome.
Dr. Mia is such a great asset to the community. And I also want to mention the task force, the Black Task Force that meet every Monday there at Ted Watkins Park. I'm sorry, not Ted Watkins Park, that meet in one of the resource centers there at WCAC. And they cover a range of issues. So I want to thank Dr. Bradshaw. I want to thank Dr. Ernie Smith. I want to thank so many people that's a part of that task force because they address issues. We've had a number of people to come there from various agencies and those kind of things to be able to address issues that's of concern in the community. Our next guest is going to be Mr. Max Stewart, and Mr. Stewart is the founder and current vice president of the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 756, there in Long Beach. And he's going to be with us on the line, is going to be calling in. But I want to give you a little bit of information. The chapter recently marked their 20th anniversary with a dinner there at the Spaghetti Factory. They have some good food there. I should have talked to them earlier. I could have got a good free meal out of it. But they do a lot of work there in the Long Beach VA Hospital. Before they established that chapter, 756, the Vietnam Veterans of America there in Long Beach, there was no service officers for the Vietnam Veterans of America. Now there's 2. So because of them, their work, they've been able to have 2 veteran service officers that constantly work in the hospital. Mr. Conrad Gomez is the current president of the chapter, and he clearly attributes the chapter's longevity to the tireless outreach going on in many different ways. And he gives specific credit to Mr. Max Stewart for founding the chapter. And he says in a quote, he's always there and we're always trying to network together in order to get things done. So chapter 756, most visible achievements there in the Long Beach hospital. They erected a memorial in Houghton Park and it's a really nice memorial. It's actually a Huey helicopter that's been placed there, and so it's there, and it's very well done, I might say. And it features a plaque that talks about the 103 veterans, people who served in Vietnam. And so we have Mr. Max Stewart on the line, and we're going to be talking to him about these things and other things. Max, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Well, it is wonderful to have you here on the show. And I was just telling the audience about some of the things that you all have done, and I didn't get through it all. I just wanted to kind of step back and let you talk about some of the things that you all have done. I think you can tell the story better than I can, because...
Well, you know...
So first of all, give us a little bit about yourself.
Myself, I was in Vietnam in 1972 and 73.
Okay.
I came out after the ceasefire was signed,
mm-hmm.
and then I came back to my job. Went back to the railroad for 6 months, and then I got a job in the oil fields.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been in Southern California since 1975.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And got one of the guys I worked with signed me up for Vietnam Veterans of America.
Mm-hmm.
And the chapter was in Pasadena.
Wow.
And
you were in Long Beach.
Trying to drive after work
uh-huh.
all the way up there. I go, how do I start a chapter in Long Beach?
Okay.
He says, handed me a packet and said, get to work, son.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you did a good job, and thank you so very much from so many people that have benefited by your work.
Well, it wasn't just me. There was a lot of other members of the chapter that helped.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't take all through the starting of this chapter. I didn't say it was my chapter or anything like that. It was our chapter.
Okay.
It's, I may have started it, but there was a lot of help to keep it going.
Yeah. Now, I see you all have a pretty robust membership. You have an active membership of, what did it say, like 140 plus?
Well, we usually get about 25 or so to a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And we had an event just recently where we put out wreaths on, it was called Wreaths Across America. And we had probably 10 or 15 of our chapter members running around out there putting wreaths on veterans' graves.
Oh, okay.
So we're getting quite a few members coming in and new members all the time. So there's a lot of them that had never heard of us.
Mm.
And I was in that same boat. I'd never heard of the organization.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I'm in it, I've been in it all the way for quite a while now.
Yeah. And I see you all reach out to, or you all collaborate or work with other organizations too, because I have here that the chapter supports Patriot for Paws, Air Force Sergeants Associations, Vets to Vets, the Anaheim 13th Marine Expeditionary Unit. Now, talk to us about what some of these organizations do. What is Patriots for Paws?
Patriots and Paws.
Patriots and Paws, uh-huh.
Is an organization that helps vets in many, many ways.
Mm-hmm.
The main way they do is by people donating their household furniture. It helps get vets into a vet. It's kind of hard to live in a house with no furniture.
Okay.
So when a vet gets a new home or an apartment, they can go to vets to Patriots and Paws, and they'll fill that house up for them.
Wow, that is really wonderful.
They just moved to a new office and warehouse in Anaheim, and it's much bigger. They've got a lot more room, and that's just the tip of the iceberg as far as what they do. They do all kinds of other stuff with dogs and vets.
Okay, all right.
And the Mew, that's all the families that are left behind when guys are sent out to wherever they go.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a lot of young wives and a lot of young kids, a lot of babies. So mainly what we do is buy diapers and wipes.
Okay.
And that is individually done by each of the members of the chapter. And we have quite a few Marines, so they will be involved in that. But we continually get a truckload, we take it out to them, and they're very happy to take care of it.
Mm-hmm. Now, if someone wanted to get involved and be a part of that, how would they get in touch with you to get further information on how to contribute to that effort?
Well, you can call me at the chapter number, which is my home phone number, 562-6566.
Now, say that one more time.
562-882-6566.
Okay. All right.
I hope I said that right.
Okay. All right. Now, so now, what does Vets to Vets do?
Vets to Vets is a meeting that we go to at the VA hospital. Mm-hmm. And what it is a PTSD group.
Oh, okay.
That is not part of the hospital. It is, the hospital lets us use a room. Mm-hmm. And in most meetings like that, there's a doctor there typing everything you say into the record.
Right.
And this one, there's no doctors. It's just vets.
Okay.
Vets to vets.
Mm-hmm.
And we help each other in any way we can. And it's a weekly meeting. And anybody that's got PTSD or thinks they have or has a problem with their benefits, they can stop by.
Mm. I frequent that hospital whenever I have a need, and I do tell you I am impressed because it is far. It's like two different hospitals when you go to some of the others. There's so much more to there. Okay, so in talking with you, there are some things that really jumped out at me. You say that I want you to share with us how you all bring in that $3 to $5 million per quarter in benefits to veterans and those kind of things. See, a lot of the information that you're talking about, I'm sure the civilian population don't know about, but I think a lot of veterans don't know about it either.
Well, what it is an estimated benefit, an estimated amount of money that's going to come into the community. Mm-hmm. And it's a way of measuring how our service officers do. The more money that they bring in for the vets, the better the community is.
Okay.
They're going to spend the money around here.
Okay. Now, when you said bring in, that's getting the veterans, helping the veterans get their claims through? Or
Correct.
Okay.
And usually they, I can't really give you an exact amount, but if you're waiting quite some time, that back pay can add up, and that's how they calculate it. If you know the VA, they have a very strange math system.
Right.
It's It's totally different than any math you and I have ever had.
Believe you me, I know mine stretched out for 14 years. And you're absolutely right. It seemed like forever, but one day it was over. That once the Veteran Board of Appeals, the VBA, got involved, it wasn't overnight, but it was pretty straightforward. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
14 years I just thought they were trying to wait me out. Oh, he got a heart transplant. All we got to do is wait on him. So, yeah. I didn't.
Deny, die.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Wrong form, wrong pen, can't read it. We lost it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where the service officers come in, because they know what terminology needs to be in the claim.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what usually helps you out, is knowing what buzzwords need to be said in that claim.
That's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And when that's not in there, they bounce it back and forth,
right,
all over the place.
Right. Now, I also understand that you all you know that there were 103 soldiers from Long Beach that passed that would have been veterans. So you all keep up with that? Do you keep up with it, or have you memorialized those names in places where what? I thought that was impressive for you to know the down to 103. How many there were that lost their lives in Vietnam?
That's a real estimate, because a lot of times it goes by your home of record in your record, and when you were inducted into the service.
Mm-hmm.
The service gives you a home of record.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you may have lived in Long Beach and your home of record is L.A.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had to go through all the schools in Long Beach, and usually there was something said in their annuals as to who was lost in the war.
Okay.
So we went through that and looked up all these names.
Okay.
And had a committee that went with talked to the families,
mm-hmm.
if there was any families left around. No, we came out with 103
mm-hmm.
names.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there was a few others that were not allowed on the wall.
Okay.
Because of they have all these rules and regulations where if you were out in the water or if you were on training purposes and this met, and it's just the government.
Right.
Otherwise, yes, we do still have the memorial. We have a Huey helicopter that was donated by a member of a person in Long Beach donated a Huey helicopter,
mm-hmm.
and members of the chapter tore it apart, got it all set up to where it was legal to put up on a pole.
Okay.
And demilitarized, all the radios and electronics are taken out of it, so it's lighter weight.
Mm-hmm.
And all the holes in it are plugged, and anywhere a bird or an animal could get in it was all plugged off.
Okay.
And we have a large plaque of all the people that were lost in Vietnam. And the city keeps it up, and we try to help clean up every once in a while we can.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Now, tell us, give us a little information. When does the chapter meet? When and where does Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 756, when does it meet? Where does it meet? That kind of thing.
It meets the first Thursday of every month,
mm-hmm.
and we meet at the Gold Star Manor, which is in West Long Beach. And I'm looking for my map right now of that.
That's a big, beautiful place. I've been out there. Matter of fact, they just recently opened 2 new buildings or something.
What they did was they went through and rehabbed every building there.
Oh, I know it is beautiful. The grounds are beautiful, everything.
Yes, and they've changed almost all of the system to where they aren't spending as much on water. They're not spending as much on electricity. And they've just modernized it completely.
Okay. And that new auditorium and kitchen was just really impressive. I was very impressed when I toured the place.
Well, that isn't new. It's just refurbished, and everything's been brought up to standards for doing all kinds of cooking there.
Okay.
And that is the building that we meet in.
Okay.
That auditorium.
Okay.
I believe it's good to hold 800 people as far as the fire department's concerned. And we meet there the first Thursday of each month at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And anybody that's willing to help, come on down. Okay.
Now, I went to your webpage, and that's easy to get to while you're looking for that address. The web page I went to, ladies and gentlemen, and listening audience, was Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 756, and I just put Long Beach there, and it came right up, and it is really a well-done page, very informative, easy to navigate, and those kind of things. Okay, so that's your web page. All of the contact stuff is there. And the meeting is the first Thursday of every month at 1 o'clock at Gold Star Manor.
American Gold Star Manor.
Okay.
It's on Santa Fe Avenue.
Right.
And the cross street is Spring Street. And for anybody that lives in Long Beach, they know Spring Street does not go underneath the 710 freeway. Some people have tried that. They've tried to go that route, and it doesn't work. You have to come down either Willow or Anaheim. Any of those will connect with Santa Fe.
Yeah, I think I came down Willow.
Yeah,
I think I came down Willow. Well, Max, it has been a pleasure talking with you. I want to thank you again. We, at this studio, I found out we're unable to merge some lines, so I wasn't able to connect the president, Mr. Conrad Gomez. But, Mr. Gomez, we want to definitely give a shout out to you, the president of the organization. Thank you for all of the work that you and Max and all of the other people there do, members, supporters, board members, just everyone do. And from a veteran's point of view, I think that American Legion. I think that Vietnam Veterans of America, Long Beach, Chapter 756 will be hearing from me again. I need to do me a membership there. I'm a member of American Legion, but I do need to put membership there because I am very impressed with the things that you all are doing. So I want to thank you so very much for taking the time to talk with us here at the Raymond Hall Show. We want you all to continue to be prosperous, and anything that we can do here, whenever you have any kind of events or that kind of thing, let us know, and we'll definitely make sure that we let the people know from here. And I think what we'll do is just make it a monthly thing to let people know the week before the meeting that you all are having the meeting on the first Thursday. So,
very good.
Yes, thank you so very much again. And again, for the last time, give us that telephone contact number.
Okay. 562-882-6566. 866.
Okay.
That's my.
All right, Max. Thank you so very much. Thank you for your service, my friend. We'll talk to you later.
Right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard us with Mr. Max Stewart, who is credited with being the founder of the Vietnam Veterans Chapter 756 there in Long Beach. We are going to have some end-of-year comments and commentary from my friend, Mr. Anthony Williams. I'm going to see if he's still available to talk with us. And if he is, we're going to hear from him. He's a radio personality that has helped so many people to advance in their careers and those kind of things. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we are back with my friend and someone that has helped so many people advance their careers, Mr. Anthony Williams. Mr. Williams, are you with us?
Yes, I am. How are you, sir?
I am doing fine, and I must tell the truth. He looks much younger than I am, but we are just a year apart coming out of high school in Memphis, Tennessee. It's funny how I shared with a friend of mine, I said that friendships travel over the medium of time.
Absolutely. I don't know about that young part, but go ahead.
Okay. But Anthony has helped me so much in helping me with broadcast and just helping me as a friend and both as a hometown person. We can kind of share memories and then talk about things in the future. So I wanted to take time to tell you thank you for all that you did in 2018, and I'm looking forward for us continuing to work together toward a goal in 2019. And I just wanted to open up to ask you about reflections because you have such a lengthy career in the broadcast business. And with that said, just talk to us about what's on your mind leaving 2018 and moving to 2019.
Absolutely. Thank you, and to everybody, happy Kwanzaa and happy holidays. And, whatever you celebrate, we want to wish that to you. In terms of you, Mr. Hall, and on behalf of all of us, and of course, your late great mentor, we thank you for the service that you're doing as well. You know, you do a good job in getting the message out.
Thank you.
I was listening to Dr. McNulty, and it was apropos because this is Kwanzaa, one of the 7 principles is Nia and Imani. And this is the second day of Kwanzaa. I think I sent that to you. Said,
you did.
Kwanzaa. In terms of reflection, I thought about the fact that where we had come from. You mentioned my little bio from out of Memphis, Tennessee. We both came from an era of the civil rights movement in the 50s, 60s, and I was a student of radio and worked there at WDIA, WLOK, and that's the first black radio station in this nation. Mm-hmm. And our sources was that particular media. And we have so much available to us nowadays, to our next generation. And for us coming forward, I think I sent you in my write-up this morning, we have all these different resources, but yet our legacy we're melting into the melting pot, so to speak. Coming through segregation up until this point, my life walk has been that of marches and protests and things like that in terms of us as a black people. And what was resulted of that, if you look back at 2018 up until the point where we are now, and we elected number 45, I like to call him like Whoopi Goldberg, but he's Donald Trump, our president. Mm-hmm. He's been spewing all of this, I call it lethargy and apathy and things of this nature. Were we well off by integration, and were we well off in terms of affirmative action? Yes. It's like, you open the door, but you're allowed access, but, the criteria for you to get in is, and as we know, quote unquote, that hasn't evolved into solidarity. Mm-hmm. For us as a people, I've never adopted the principle of Kwanzaa. Mm-hmm. We always said Merry Christmas.
Right.
And so this year, I sent out for my contact list to everybody Happy Kwanzaa, the first day of Kwanzaa, because I had been receiving this. Mm-hmm. Okay, I've always read the principles of Kwanzaa, and Dr. McNulty, her name is what's the word? It's synonymous, Nia and Imani. Mm-hmm. In other words, if we teach these principles to our offsprings, and our legacy will be that of unity. My point is, we tried marches, we tried boycotts, and boycotts worked more better than anything other than reactionary to riots or to things that has happened to our people. And as you all know, of all the deaths of the young people by law enforcement and things of this nature. In essence, that's what I wanted to talk about. I know we're short timing here, but let's go back to service. I went down to Long Beach. I have friends down at the Veterans Department in Long Beach, Veterans Hospital. I have a friend, I don't know if he's still at 756. His name is Anthony Bertrand, Tony Bertrand. He's been down there for years and has the best of care. Yet you compare it to West LA. I've heard stories about infestation of flies in the...
They just had that on the television. But because we are short of time, talk to us in a minute or less about moving from 18 to 19. What are your thoughts? What thought would you like to leave with the listening and viewing audience about preparation and moving into a new year? What mindset? What thought process?
Like you said, in terms of local communities, service is a different conversation.
That's correct.
And if you think about most communities are somewhat segregated themselves. The Hispanic community, and it's fast becoming that. If we think of service, and if we think of uniting as a people, and going forward with that in mind, I heard this morning that they're going to try to change the voting. We must vote.
Right.
Whereas early in the presidential elections, our votes can be heard here on the West Coast. Well, that could make you somewhat apprehensive about voting. We're stronger in numbers. And so we must unite and as a people, people of all races, colors, and backgrounds and ethnicities, and make our power felt at the voting booth first.
Okay. Well, we have ran out of time, and I want to thank you for that insight and input in bridging us from moving. This is the last show. We still have a few days in the year, but this is the last show for the year. So, Anthony, my friend, I hate to cut you short, but we want to thank you for that insight and input in moving forward for 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tuning in to the Raymond Hall Show. This show is about service, and you need to take a look at what really is important. We've said things to you like, you go to work, you get paid, that is for your family. But the work that you do through service is oftentimes you don't know the people, and you're doing work that is going to affect people that have yet to come to the earth. That's what service is about. You're doing something that's going to benefit others. In looking forward into 2019, look forward with both a spirit, a eye, and a heart for service and to serve. If there's something in your community that you want to address, you can believe if it's heavy on your heart and it's in your mind to do something, that service is needed in other communities as well. Is service always going to be convenient for you? No. Are you always going to get the biggest numbers? Somebody, the world is following you on Facebook because you're taking a position that service matters? No. But what it's going to do, it's going to benefit someone that they are going to be able to have a platform where their following will be greater. In 2019, pay attention. Somebody will give you a story on what they want you to pay attention to. Who really cares? We look at the result. Don't talk to me about the seed that's needed to put the apple on my table. Talk to me about the apple that's on my table. Because if the apple you put on my table or give me the opportunity to put on my table is bad fruit, if the food that you sell in the stores in my community is old food, if the education that you want to put in my community is without because the profiteers want to privatize it, I don't need to hear about something that's away. Those who has the understanding and the vision to address that will address that. I'm talking about the service of you and me that has to do with the gates and doors and education of our communities. Moving into 2019, let us have a spirit of service. Let us welcome the spirit of service, and the spirit of service will welcome us. Be prosperous, be safe, be kind, care for someone, and someone will care for you. I went to help someone and found that I needed help too. This is Raymond Hall with the Raymond Hall Show. Have a good evening.